Many school districts all across the country, including here in the Bay Area, conduct regular shooting drills and have been since the deadly Columbine High School shooting back in 1999. But some parents question the psychological effects of these realistic exercises. And here to evaluate the impacts of school security measures, I'm joined by Kimberly COHN, psychologist and head of development at Family Paths here in Alameda County. Kimberly, thank you so much for being here. It really is a difficult dilemma that school districts find themselves in. They want to make sure that they are prepared for what we all hope doesn't happen, while also not making students anxious and nervous.
Yes.
How do they do that?
How do they do that? So being prepared and having preparedness drills, say like a fire drill or an earthquake drill, is fantastic, and that actually helps. However, in the case of a traumatic event like a school shooting, to just open the doors and have some kind of unannounced drill can actually be very traumatizing.
Okay, I want to start with the fact that you said unannounced, and some parents say that they would like a warning about this. But school districts say if the kids don't think that this is really happening, it will not be effective.
Right. So there's several issues here. Anytime that there's any kind of a drill like this, you have to consider the age and the developmental level of those children. So age-appropriate awareness activities to prepare them are going to be the most effective. Simply assuming that kids aren't going to have buy-in because they've been told about it is not only inaccurate, it actually defeats the purpose. Because when a drill like that happens and they have no previous awareness, it will set off a trauma response, flooding their brain with catecholamines and stress hormones that shuts down their capacity to think. And this problem will ripple into the classroom, into possibly other trauma responses like nightmares or anxiety or so on.
So you mentioned, though, that if it is age appropriate, well, let's talk a little bit about, junior high school students. What are the effects of going through and planning and practicing something like this?
Well, if you think of it as any other educational program and you respect your student pool's dignity and intelligence and arm them with the information they need to be effective, look, these kids are already on social media. They already know what's going on in the world. On some level, I would wonder if that's already triggering some kind of anxiety. That can be mitigated with an education campaign that says, hey, we're in this for you. We're here to support you. This is how we're going to do it, as opposed to something that's going to trigger a trauma response on them unawares.
But what about those who say, the kids need to understand that they need to take cover, that they need to barricade the door? Without practicing that, they may, with lack of a better term, kind of freak out in that moment.
Sure. Again, a solid education program. I think it was the recommendation in 2014, the National School Psychologist and School Resource Specialists sent out a guidance list of guidance principles that said, any of these drills that help create safety in a time of this traumatic event, anything that's age appropriate and well planned out is helpful. Anything that is not appropriately adhering to the ethics of informed consent, there's also some issues there, or helping these kids understand what they're buying into, is disrespectful and will create that trauma response.
Do you think, though, that then when the kids, after they go through a drill like this, are you seeing kids then concerned about going to school? Are they having nightmares about, what might happen?
So at Family Paths, we provide mental health treatment and supportive services to kids and families of Alameda County. For almost 47 years, we have been treating trauma, child abuse prevention, parent education classes, and so on. We see kids who are traumatized from school violence, from community violence, and so on. We're prepared to deal with whatever can come up for the kids and the parents in that situation.
So it really does sound like, though, if your school district has this policy, maybe as parents, look into it, see the levels of involvement of your children, and then probably most importantly, talk with your kids?
Yeah, look at the responses your kids are having. Has your kids' behavior changed? Have they suddenly started wetting the bed? Are they not eating? Are they, and it may be subtle. On the one-year anniversary of events such as the Parkland tragedy, there will be unconscious triggers, the time of year, the holidays around that time, all these associations that may create some kind of behavioral change. Anytime there's behavioral change, they should feel free to call Family Paths.
Okay, great advice there.